Greetings, my saplings. In today's video, we are actually going to be discussing two shoes. Actually, it's more like 4 sneakers, but yeah, we're going to be discussing the CDG Supreme Air Force 1s first, and then we're going to be talking about the Diamond Supply SBs. Yes, all 3 of them. Now, for all of these sneakers, we will be discussing some release info and some background information, how to cop them, of course, and finally some resale predictions at the end of each section, and I will be splitting it up. So for those of you who are only interested in the SBs, because I'll be starting with the Air Force 1s first, feel free to skip to here. And also, for those of you not interested in the background info, feel free to skip to here for the Air Force 1s. I don't want to waste any of your time, but with that, let's jump right into it. CDG and Supreme have been doing highly sought-after collaborations for around 8 years now. Streetwear brand Comme des Garçons was founded by Rei Kawakubos in 1969 Tokyo. Now initially this was primarily a women's clothing line, and its name even means just like boys. Then in 1970 it became a unisex brand. With the assistance of Adrian Jaw, CDG became one of the most well-known brands, even though the creator had no teaching in fashion before. Now jumping to 2012, CDG did their first collaboration with Supreme. What we saw from that collaboration was a sweater with polka dots and of course the box logo. This was followed by a collaboration in 2013, 14, 15, 17, and 18. Oh, wait a second, guys. Did you think that the 2018 collaboration was over? Well, it's not. Don't worry. We got those Air Force 1s coming. Of course, you would have known that since that's the title of the video, but anyway, the CDG Air Force 1s dropped November 8th for $165. So hopefully now, if somebody were to hypothetically ask you what you were wearing on your feet, perhaps you could tell them a little bit about what you know. But anyway, with that out of the way, why don't we move on to how to cop these sneakers. How do you cop the Supreme Air Force 1 CDG collaboration? So the first place we're going to be mentioning, the most important place, the place where I think a lot of you guys are going to be able to see success, is off of Supreme.com. So at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, Supreme will be dropping these. And if I'm being 100% honest with you guys, although it is difficult still to cop off of Supreme, it is definitely possible to cop manually. I myself was able to cop a box logo off of there and plenty other releases in the past. I really trust if you give this a shot, a lot of you guys out there will take W's. Not all of you, of course, but a large majority of you. So the first thing I wanted to mention is that since these are shoes, there's not really going to be a category for them. You're not going to be able to sit inside of a certain category and refresh that category, because usually you want to buy a sweater, you could go to that section. It saves a ton of time. In this case, they're shoes, so what you're going to have to do is scroll all the way to the bottom each time you refresh, because that's usually where they tend to pop up. Then of course, as soon as you see that it goes live, perhaps it's at 11:01, 11:02, because sometimes it is delayed, all you got to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom. This is when you're on view all products, of course. You go to the bottom, you click the product, then you click add to cart, then you want to click checkout now. Do not click view cart. Those 4 seconds that you might waste there is definitely crucial. Then you want to use built-in Chrome autofill. All you have to do for here is on the top right of Google Chrome, click the 3 dots, then hit settings, then hit advanced, then you just simply fill in your address and your payment information. Now, unfortunately, you will have to copy and paste your address for your street. For some reason, it doesn't work on Supreme, and that's fine. All you have to do is type it in somewhere else in your notes, say, copy and paste it into there. And then when it comes to your security number, because autofill doesn't do this, all you got to do is type in that number. So just practice that as much as you can. It's usually a 3-digit or 4-digit number, so it's really not going to be difficult if you have muscle memory. Also, huge tip right here to avoid CAPTCHA, make sure you're signed into a Gmail account on Google. This is absolutely a lifesaver. It's going to save you a ton of time. Now, if you happen to be too slow in this process, which could happen, you will occasionally get errors. Sometimes you will say that it's been removed from your cart. But anyway, some of you guys will cop, some of you won't. That's usually how it is. Then moving on to mobile, because I know a lot of you guys might be at school on this day. You might be at work on this day. My biggest suggestion for mobile is to download Filler. It's a free app that does autofill for you. Don't worry, it is secure. And I actually am going to recommend that you use the website on mobile rather than the app, simply because the app tends to be slightly delayed. Not only that, but you also have to open the app at the perfect time. So you would actually have to watch the clock on your phone, the little clock app, open it 3 seconds or before or something. And occasionally, like I said, it is delayed. So you'll have to close out the app and then open it up again. It's really annoying. So I really suggest using the website and refreshing that instead. So then And yeah, it's the same exact process on mobile. Of course, it's going to be slightly more difficult and tedious since you're on a phone, but with filler, you should be okay. And then finally, the last thing I wanted to mention for these was Nike sneakers. Images for these did load up onto Nike sneakers, so it is very possible that we'll see a drop for these. Now, there's no product page as of now, but again, I'm still expecting something. So just in case they drop a shock drop on us, I will try my best, of course, to keep you guys all updated, just like I did today with the not for resale Jordan 1s when they did that exclusive release anyway, though. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's move on to some resale predictions. So do I think these are going to be profitable? Yes, I do think they're going to be profitable, although it's not going to be any significant profit. It's not going to be what you're seeing right now on StockX. It's not like the pre-sale. And the reason I say this is because there's apparently a lot of stock for these sneakers. I would say that the stock is going to be similar to what we saw with the NBA Air Force ones, but the biggest difference here is that there is definitely more demand on these in comparison to those. And also, it's important to keep in mind that $165 isn't a high retail at all, so you might end up seeing prices like $250 to $300. So yeah, I do think that you should go for these, that they should be profitable. And again, if they do release on Nike sneakers, hypothetically, you get free returns on there. But with the Air Force ones out of the way, why don't we move on to the SBs? So like always, if you're not interested in the background information, that's fine, I guess. Feel free to skip to the how to cop portion of the video. But for those of you who are interested, let's jump into this. In 2005, Nike did their very first collaboration with Diamond Supply. Now, I wish I could say that I remember it, but I really don't. I was only about 5 years old at the time of this release. What I do remember, however, is that these were one of the most sought-after sneakers when I first started learning about sneakers in 2013, and we'll jump into why 2013 is kind of significant later. So, to this day, these are still grails to a lot of people. You might personally know them for their nickname Tiffany. Now, Tiffany actually derives from the Tiffany bracelet. You see, the owner gifted his girlfriend a bracelet, a Tiffany bracelet, and the box represents the blue, and then the bracelet is supposed to be just like the silver swoosh on the shoe. Then in 2006, we saw the Un-Tiffany release. Now, this was only a nickname. This was not actually a collaboration. Basically, they called it the Un-Tiffany because it was just reverse color blocking. Then moving to 2013, the year I started getting into sneakers, they retroed the low by making it into a high. Now, this one wasn't as sought after simply because there was more stock on these compared to the lows, but this was the shoe that got me interested in sneakers since I used to skateboard so much, and these were primarily a skateboarding sneaker, the SB. But anyway, moving to 2018, for the 20th anniversary of Diamond Supply, we will be seeing 3 new pairs of Diamond Supply SBs being released. Now, these colorways come from Tertiary wanting to represent a white, black, and yellow diamond. In addition to that, we also have removable swooshes on each of these sneakers to reveal the Tiffany color underneath. With that, these drop November 10th for only $100. Isn't that beautiful, guys? But anyway, with that, let's jump into the how to cop for these sneakers. I think a lot of you guys want me to start off with the yellow pair, so we're gonna start off with the yellow pair. So obviously, as most of you should know by now, these were a Complex Con exclusive. At least they were supposed to be a Complex Con exclusive. But we may potentially have one more shot to get these. The reason I say this is because Diamond Supply actually tweeted out, "We are not selling the yellow diamond dunks online. Stop using bots." Look, in my opinion, I think this is a dead giveaway that they're going to be releasing them anyway. If they do hypothetically release them, it's going to be via a shock drop, because obviously they're not scheduling the release at all. One thing I wanted to mention that I found pretty unique is on the site, they actually have this one shoe going for $550, and underneath that, they mention that these are not the SBs and that all sales are final. So that's pretty creative in my opinion, actually. Anyway, that would of course be our only shot to cop these, even if they did drop, because they might not drop at all, but again, I do think that they will. For updates on that, of course, my Twitter is KeithAdam10, but moving on to the white pair. The white pair is going to be skate shop exclusive. So for these, I actually made a site list for you guys that you could go onto my Twitter and find. It's the pinned tweet. I also have the times on there, so if you happen to be available or free at any of these times, I highly recommend going for these. My biggest tips would be to set up an account on each of these stores beforehand. Not only that, but like I was mentioning for the Air Force Ones, if you watch that portion of the video, you need to have autofill set up. It will definitely help you out in the long run. And not only the white pair for these sites, but some of these sites also are selling the black pair. So basically, the white pairs are skate shop exclusive, but the black pairs are basically everywhere. And we'll talk about where else the black pairs are releasing in a second, but first I wanted to mention mentioned that the best way you could obtain the white and black pair would be through in-store raffles. And the way you find those is actually just by typing in on Google, local skate shops near me, because the majority of skate shops with quick strike contracts will be getting these sneakers. And the fantastic thing is that when I went to mine, only 40 people have signed up within this week, and it's nearing the end of signups. So that's honestly saying to myself, look, I know there's not going to be a lot of stock, but 40 people is barely any people. So if I'm being 100% honest, this is probably going to be your best chance of copying. If you want to get some friends or whatever, have your friends come with you, and maybe that'll increase your chances as well. But anyway, finally, let's move on to the black pair. So like I was saying, for the black pair, it should also be available on some of those links and also in some in-store raffles, but you can also find them on Nike sneakers, releasing on the 10th at 10 a.m. Eastern time for only $100. Guys, that's an incredible price. And this will be a Leo drop. This essentially means that it appears to be like a first come first serve, but it's still a randomized process, so you might want to get in as many accounts as you can within a 1 to 2 minute time window. We've talked about this multiple times in the past. I'm confident that you guys know what you're doing. Try to get at least 3 to 4 accounts in as fast as possible. But anyway, moving on to the resale predictions for all 3 of these shoes. Let's start off with the yellow pair. So for the yellow pair, what am I expecting? Well, if you happen to get super lucky on these and they do end up dropping on Diamond Supply, you're probably going to have a free vacation for several days. Moving on to the black pair, you should probably make around $50 to $100. I'm not expecting anything crazy on these, just because not only are they releasing through skate shops, but they're also going to be on Nike sneakers, and obviously there's going to be a significant amount of stock on Nike. I would say that the resale should be quite similar to what we saw with the SB Pigeons, since that was a similar release style where we saw them with skate shops and also through Nike sneakers. Perhaps a little more since there is slightly more demand on these, but anyway, moving to the white pair. The white pair should definitely be profitable as well since they're not on Nike sneakers. I would say that they're going to be more profitable, so I would recommend going for all of them, but again, the black pair is definitely going to have the least. With that, I will conclude today's video. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, if you perhaps learned a thing or two. Also, subscribe and turn on post notifications to stay 100% updated on these shoes and really any hyped shoes in the future. With that though, good luck on all these releases, of course. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later.
Why are you always in my way, knocking me over every single day? Get your foot off my foot, I should have run the other way. Now there's just one thing to say. Get your foot off my foot,